Hola y bienvenidos. Hello and welcome. This is Nam Nam, and we are once again in Oxygen Not Included. This is the Oxygen Not Included Primer series, and we're kicking off here on cycle 20. So we've addressed some of the basics around digging, exploring, finding food in the early game, mealwood farming, basic oxygen production, and we were just starting to get into power production. I'm going to go ahead and hit pause here. There we go. And we'll try and do another 10 cycles today and see how that goes. So a couple of things I want to resolve today is we're currently researching, if I recall correctly, we are researching the smart battery. And I want to research the smart battery so that I can control this coal generator, which is going to use up all of our coal if we don't put some automation on it. So let's get that going. But then also we're going to need automation wire, which I don't think we have yet. Oh, we do have the automation wire. That's great. But then we'll need some refined metals. Do we have the rock crusher yet? Where's that guy? Right here. We don't have the brute force refinement yet. So I'm actually going to change our focus to brute force refinement, because in order to make the batteries, the smart batteries, we're going to need refined metals. So let's go ahead and change our focus on the research there. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're just going to waste a little bit of coal, it looks like, because our battery's full, but our coal generator is going full out, making 600 watts of power. Now it is using some, right? So we are using 120, 180, but that's still wasting a lot of power. In the last episode, we had also created this liquid pump, which is pumping water over here to our one bristle blossom that is in a hydroponic farm, and we have a couple other bristle blossoms here that require the light of the shine bug, so they kind of need him to come on over there. And I can't put any other shine bugs in there because I don't have any ranching skill yet. All right, where does that bring us? I did want to mention, and I don't really think we talked about this, but as your colony starts to grow, things will go wrong. It is important to take a moment and assess what's going wrong the most or the worst. Usually those two things are either going to be oxygen, food, or temperature of your base, which is then going to destroy all your food production. So those are kind of related. But right now we don't have a lot going wrong. We only have 4 duplicants, and we're on cycle 20. So that's a good thing. I can only imagine some colonies might collapse. Your first colony might collapse about now if you haven't done anything about food production. We'll go ahead and do a little more digging here. Last episode also we did get this lum, and that's kind of cool. In 200 turns when he dies, he's going to provide us with a bunch of food. But until that time, we can only hope that the printing pod gives us his preferred food, so that we can actually maybe keep him alive and reproduce him. The lum ranch would be amazing for food. Okay. What do we want to do next? Well, we definitely want to get that research so we can stop wasting coal. I think we also want to get a bathroom. So we have our mess hall, right? Take a look at our overlay. We have our +3 morale from our mess hall. We have our +1 morale for our latrine. +1 morale for our barracks. But we can get a +2 morale, I think, if we get a washroom. Yeah, +2 morale. So we're going to want to do that here. But I am going to dig out all of that, and we're going to put in a new level of our base right there. And actually going to be a little bit of a problem. I'm going to destroy this for now. ahead and dig that out like that also. And we'll go ahead and speed the game up just a tad. We did have some more tutorials over here I'm just going to dismiss. And we've researched 16 items, and I haven't clicked through these, so I'm just going to click through these. We researched basic farming, ventilation, interior decor, sanitation, internal combustion, advanced research, yep, filtration, smart home technology, meal prep, power regulation, distillation, plumbing, pressure management, agriculture, and employment. That's an interesting one. Okay. And then brute force refinement we just finished. So now we go back here, and we go back to researching that smart battery. Meanwhile, then we will take that brute force refinement, put down the rock crusher. I'll go ahead and put it down right here. We'll just run the wire over to it. We're also going to prepare the wire over here for our smart battery. Yep, that'll do. Actually, if I put in a water pitcher pump right here, yeah, it has access to a little bit of water. That'll last for a while. Our oxygen is doing okay. We have 1.5 kilograms of breathable oxygen in the area that we've excavated. If I take a look at our skills, because I don't remember where we're at, we have field researcher, so I can research vents and geysers, should I find one. Super hard digging, so I don't have super duper hard digging yet. Looks like I'm halfway there. Crop tending, so I can do a farm, and then I'll do ranching next. And again, we're a little more than halfway there. So probably another... each skill level takes more effort than the last, so I'm guessing by cycle like 30, maybe, by the end of this video, we will have the skills that we need in order to kind of go on to the next step of what I would say would be like required tasks for our duplicates. All right. We can also mop up this water. I'm going to do a priority 6 mop here because I don't want them walking in it every time they go down here. But it'll also give them a bunch of water they don't have to pump up from the pitcher pump. See how that goes. Yep, here they come. Mopping away. And they can use all that water then. For the research station. Alright, so my coal generator's out of coal. It's actually not a bad thing, because it was wasting coal, remember. It's currently set to only load coal in it when the battery gets down to 50%, so we'll see if they do load it up with coal. But now that I have the rock crusher, I'm going to crush copper. I'm just going to do 10 jobs of crushing copper ore into copper. When you do that with a rock crusher, it is important to know that you will lose 50% of the ore, will turn into sand, and 50% will become refined copper. There's a refinery that gets you 100% return on refining the copper ore to copper. However, it produces a ton of heat and uses a ton of energy, so we'll get to that in a little while. And it looks like we're out of power, and we're almost done researching that smart battery. Ironically. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, it already is set to 6. I'm going to use that. Senna is... Looks like they're taking a nap. Alright, Gene's coming to run on the wheel. Once we get some power in the battery. And somebody should start working on the research. And there we go, a little bit of coal. There we go. And then somebody should get on this rock crusher. But it looks like they're doing a bunch of other delivery tasks first. Now I can force them to jump on the thing, which I'm going to by hitting priority 6. That's going to tell somebody to pay attention to that over some of the other tasks that they have. Now we see that Maya's next action is to crush some copper. Alright, I need 200 copper to make the battery, and I need maybe another 100 copper, maybe 150 copper to make the automation wire. Research is complete. I now have the smart battery as an option, and here under power, you can see that the smart battery requires 200 kilograms of refined metal, of which I only have 50 right now. I'm going to go look at my list of stuff that I can show in the resources on the right, and I'm going to go ahead and add copper. Anything else I want to add over here? Anything new? I'll add iron ore. That'll work. Now, I think I recall that we had created or had researched food enough to get a grill. And I will go ahead and put that right there. Now, I don't have anyone cooking yet, but that's probably going to be the next duplicate that I get. I'll be sure to give them the cooking skill. And then things like our bristleberry up here will go a lot further if I turn it into bristleberry. The cooked bristleberry. Oh, bristleberry becomes gristleberry. Kind of seems like it should be the other way. Cook it, and it goes from gristly to not gristly, but whatever. It's oxygen not included. Don't try to make it make sense. Alright, the reason I wanted to clear up the space down here was so that I could go into refinement and put down a water sieve. And we're going to use this water sieve to filter the polluted water that will be created from our bathroom. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down right here. Yep, and then I'm going to start to plumb our bathroom, even though it's not there yet. So clean water is going to come out and go up into our bathroom, and dirty water is going to come down. So we'll go ahead and start getting that ready. Now, if I remember correctly, sink, the input is on the left, and on the toilet, the input is on the left. Okay, so if I don't need that I think is the takeaway. I want to prep this, then I go there, and then 1, 2, there's my sinks, and then 1, 2. That should be good enough for 2 sinks and 2 toilets. And then the water coming out is going to be there. And we'll actually, yeah, we can do that like this. Okay, so once that's all done, then we can go ahead and destroy the existing outhouses and wash basins. Oh, let's see what we got here on the printing pod. We don't need meal wood. We don't have the power for a bionic duplicate. As I mentioned before, if you do have the bionic duplicate DLC, they require power instead of food, but that means you need to be able to produce enough power to create batteries to feed them. You can keep them alive with sort of a non-renewable battery, but it uses up all your metal, so I don't want to do that. Decorating, researching, digging, decorating, suit wearing, building. Oh, super duper hard digging. But allergies. No! Otto, why? Alright, allergies, I hate allergies. I like floral scent. I like it because it adds a morale bonus to your duplicates. But in this scenario, it would actually give Otto a bunch of debuffs. So we're going to skip that. But super duper hard digging would have been so nice. Alright, we'll just have to wait till that cycle 30 or whatever we get that next skill. Decreased machinery is too bad, but Abe, welcome to the party. We're going to make you a red shirt, though. Yep, there you go. All right. So now I have 5 beds already, and I have my 5th dupe. So we should be okay. I am going to go out here and check out on Abe, and I'm going to say, Abe, you're going to learn how to grill real quick. Because we're going to take all of our bristleberry and turn it into gristleberry, and we're going to take one more food item. We're going to build the microbe musher. We're going to put it right here. All right, so this is a good time to talk about food. Most food, or most raw materials for foods and some edible foods, can be processed via cooking into better versions of the food. I will take this example, the bristle blossom. The bristle blossom creates a bristleberry. Go ahead and click on the bristleberry. The bristleberry gives you 1,600 kcals. That's great, but it does take a really long time to grow. But if you cook it on a grill, the bristleberry becomes 2,000 kilocalories of gristleberry, and all it takes is 50 seconds of a duplicant's time and the associated power consumption in a grill to get a bonus 400 kcals, basically. Now, your duplicant's cooking speed, let's say they had like, who did I just give cooking to? So it adds +2 cuisine. So your dupe's cuisine skill will reduce their cooking time by 10% per level, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So Abe, with a cuisine of 2, should have a 20% reduction in the speed it takes for them to cook. So 20% of 50 seconds, 10 seconds, so 40 seconds for them to do that. And as they get better at cooking, and the more they do it, the faster they will get at it. Okay. What else did I want to look at? Oh, I wanted to look at consumables. All right. So because the bristleberry is consumable, if they create a bristleberry, they will eat the bristleberry unless I tell them not to. And I'm going to click on it in the header row here to tell them to stop eating it. I'm also going to do the same thing to the meal lice, tell them to stop eating them. I also don't want them to eat any mushrooms because I want them to eat cooked mushrooms, cooked bristleberry, and cooked meal lice. Now, how do you cook meal lice? You do that down here, and we create lice loaf forever, and I'm going to priority 6 that. Now, some people will tell you lice loaf is a trap. And I can't say that they're wrong necessarily because it uses a lot of water. However, it does produce considerable more food. As you see here, it takes 1 meal lice, which is 1,200 kcals, and it creates 1 lice loaf, which is 1,700 kcals. So it gives you a bonus 500 kcals, almost 50% more food from the same amount of meal lice. So right now, because I don't have a lot of farmable foods, I'm going to go ahead and do that, at least for a little while. And I see a bristleberry in there. Go ahead and put a door there, maybe. Okay, they ran through my 10 copper work orders that I gave them, so I should have enough power to build a smart battery out of copper, which I do. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to go to automation. I'm going to build an automation wire. This is an automation port. Most equipment will have an automation port. In this case, I'm going to connect the automation port from my coal generator to my smart battery. I'm also going to priority 6 the automation wire and the smart battery, but since I swiped the automation 6 over the coal generator, it also set its automation to 6. And that's fine with me if they power it up right now, because it's soon going to be controlled by the smart battery. I'm also going to go into my supercomputer and select some new research. Let us research what is going to be useful for us. I'm going to research this guy right here, the liquid reservoir. Okay. Also some other things, insulated pipes and hydro sensors and liquid shutoff valves. But that reservoir is the one I'm really looking for. Okay. Next thing's next. These wash basins created some polluted water. So I have a bunch of polluted water, and a polluted water is going to off-gas polluted oxygen. If we look at our overlays, we can see these light greenish tiles are polluted oxygen. Now, your duplicants breathe polluted oxygen and gives them yucky lungs. To get yucky lungs, what happens is they start consuming a larger amount of oxygen. So it actually it can snowball pretty quickly if all your dupes have yucky lungs and you're barely making enough oxygen. So I want to do two things. One, I want to clean up polluted oxygen, but two, I want to stop creating the polluted oxygen. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put a pump right here. I'm going to wall it in. And then I'm going to take a bottle emptier and put it right here. And then I'm going to take a pipe from this pump. I'm going to run it over here. I need to run some power to that thing. There we go. Now what this is going to do is it's going to prime my water sieve with polluted water, which is going to be cleaned by the sieve and prepared to run into my bathroom. It will get rid of my polluted water, and it will take care of the problem of getting water into my bathroom system. Here's another important mechanic to know. When a duplicate uses the bathroom, it uses, I think, 5 kilograms of water in the bathroom, but it produces like 6.5 kilograms of water. So every time they use the bathroom, they generate a little bit of water. That's great, but if you don't account for it, your pipes will fill up with water, and then it won't be able to go anywhere, and then your toilets will back up. So you need to have somewhere for that extra water to go, which is why I wanted to build that water reservoir, which we're researching right now. We also did get 2 colony achievements, and I don't know what they are. We'll take a look. It's not raw, we cooked something. And red light, green light, we automated something. Alright, let's talk about the automation. The smart battery has a high and low threshold. The low threshold is when it will say, hey, I need more power, so turn on whatever I'm connected to. And the high threshold is saying, I have enough power, turn off whatever I'm connected to. So I'm going to say, if I have less than 20 power in my smart battery, then I should send a green signal. Look at the automation, see how it's red? I'll send a green signal to this coal generator. If the coal generator receives a green signal, it will run if it has fuel. Once the battery gets to 99% power, it'll say, I'm good. It'll send a red signal, and then the generator will turn off. I always set it to 99 because there might be a moment's delay between the... You can set it to 95, doesn't matter. There might be a moment's delay where the generator's still producing power before the red signal gets received, so you don't waste power. And the low threshold you can play with, and there's some reasons to set it to different values, but for now, 20%, 33%, doesn't really matter. You want the generator to turn on before the battery is completely out of power. I'm also going to slide this, since I have automation on here now, I'm going to slide this guy all the way up to 100%. And what that's going to tell the duplicants is, even if the batteries are full, put coal in the generator. And we want that because we want it to be ready to go at a moment's notice. As soon as the battery says, I need power, we want it to go ahead and have coal on hand. Go ahead and take a look at skills, since they're all, we have a little hat on the, go back. We have the little hat icon, head icon, I guess it's the head icon, on the printing pod. So I'm going to go ahead and look at skills. And we're going to go ahead and get ranching for Gene. Okay. What does that mean? That means that at the very least, I can now take this shine bug and relocate it in here so I have a better chance of my plants growing. But it also means I can ranch these guys, the hatches. So we actually need somewhere to ranch them. And I'll get to that in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and set this to polluted water with a priority of 6, so that these guys grab the polluted water from over here. Meanwhile, I'm going to destroy a wash basin and an outhouse. Only one of each. Yeah, improved plumbing, which means I now have that water reservoir, by the way. There's liquid reservoir. I don't know why the liquid reservoir is in the base. The gas version of that, the gas reservoir, is also going to show up under the base, not under ventilation or plumbing. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. You'll see this has an input on the upper right and an output on the bottom left. I'm actually going to put it right here. That input is actually behind the bridge, so it's not connected to the pipe, okay? All right. Important. Okay, now under plumbing, I have a lavatory, and under medicine, I have a sink, and we'll go ahead and put this down. There, 6 both of those. Following achievement, we got another one. What did we get? Oh. So before, when I clicked on it, it said I had 2, and for whatever reason, it doesn't dismiss the banner for both. It just dismisses one of them, even though it shows you both of them. So then when you go back and click on it again, nothing new shows up because you had dismissed the second banner, even though it had already showed you what you could get. All right, you'll see that I have 2 shine bugs in here now because I had relocated one. And again, you click on the shine bug, click relocate, and then tell it where you want to put it. It only works if the duplicate can reach the critter that you're trying to relocate. Alright, this bathroom I want to say only when they're moved to the right. And then this one I'm going to deconstruct, and this one I'm going to deconstruct. Again, I'm hitting B to copy something. So I click on the lavatory and then I click on B. Click on the sink, then I click B, and it just makes a copy of it. So unfortunately, it's really close to their bedtime, so I think they're going to stop working and not build these toilets. So they only have 1 toilet right now, so they're all going to have to share. Maya must be on a different schedule, so she went ahead and clicked on the sink there. Set the direction. There we go. Good job, Maya. All right, so now what's happening is the water from my polluted water pool is pumped into the sieve. It has cleaned it, and it has sent it into the toilets and sinks. When it comes out of there, it's going to come down into this pipe, and it's going to go through the sieve again. But the pipes are going to back up pretty quick, especially since I'm still adding more water from over here. So I'm going to add a bridge right here. Where am I going to put that? I'm going to put a bridge right here. And that's going to go like that. And I'm going to cut this one right here because I don't want that anymore. Then I'm going to add one coming down here, and you'll see why in a moment, but I need them to use the bathroom first. So I'll fix that later. And then I'll go ahead and put a pipe right there, even though I'm not sending it anywhere. Okay, I'm not doing any research, and I want to do research, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this deodorizer. We talked about the polluted oxygen a little bit. The deodorizer is how you get rid of polluted oxygen. And I don't have a lot, but I'm going to put a couple of deodorizers in the base just to clean it up. Now, do I need to do that? Probably not. Am I a little OCD about it? Absolutely. And I do have a bunch of coal, but they're not adding it to the coal generator, so I don't know why that. I'm going to go into the priorities and tell somebody to supply. Right. Sure. Maya, you should supply things and build things. Okay. For whatever reason, the coal generator tasks or errands are not showed under a coal generator. I don't know why that is. I also don't know. Are they not supplying it because it's red right now? Maybe that's why. I'm gonna set the hamster wheel here to priority 4. Hopefully that'll help. I'm also gonna create a few of these storage bins. Over here. Now, if you recall, over here we had put a bunch of stuff into storage bins to clear up some of our space that had a really bad decor. Check what's in the printing pod. Sorry. Oh my gosh, another lumlet? I gotta take that guy. Alright. I'd rather have the, what is it, the agavro, whatever, the vines that they eat, but I'll take another lumlet. I'm going to fill these up with metal ore, these boxes over here. And then I'm going to put one down here, and I'm going to put coal in it. Alright, coal. And then these here, I'm going to say I don't want coal. Yep, I got that. And then I don't want metal. Right, and I'm going to copy that setting across there. Alright, we're at cycle 25. So I'm going to go ahead and zip through the night here. And it looks like we have somebody else on the skill tree. Nails. I'm going to go with improved carrying, just because it's really, I think, valuable skill that they can pick up more, quite a bit more, like 3 times as much when they're moving stuff around. They can carry a ton more. I think it's worthwhile. All right, what do we got going here? Okay, so my bathroom. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that wire. If I haven't mentioned this yet, this little scissor, pardon me, this little scissor in the bottom right-hand corner over here is the disconnect tool. It will let you cut wires and plumbing and ventilation tubes or whatever with this little tool, which is very, very helpful when you're trying to troubleshoot problems. So then I'm going to go ahead and do like so. So what happens with a bridge, and I don't think we've talked about this. What happens with a bridge is that there's a priority system. Anything coming into the white square of the bridge will prioritize jumping into the bridge. If it cannot jump into the bridge because the other side of the green side is full, then it will continue on the pipe. So in this case, the water comes down the pipe, it hits the white box, the input, and it jumps to the green box, the output. The pipe behind the green one is full of polluted water, so it can't go anywhere. And because it can't go anywhere, it should go straight and continue on. And that is going to put it into my liquid reservoir. And that is how we're going to keep our toilet from backing up. This will eventually fill up if I don't keep an eye on it, so I need to keep an eye on it. That's really all there is to that. Now, we did some research. I'm going to go into oxygen deodorizers, and I'm going to put a deodorizer on every floor. I also would like to point out that the deodorizers use very little power. And they only use power when they're running, so... There's one over there. I'll let it go. Okay. So these guys will take in polluted oxygen and turn it into clean oxygen at the price of a little bit of power and a little bit of sand. Now, for my next trick, and the next thing I like to do at about this time in research is I want to research this guy right here, the automatic dispenser. I also want to research fire poles, but I'm going to go ahead and do the automatic dispenser first. Fire poles will let you put a fire pole through the vertical spine of your base, or anywhere, I guess, and your duplicants will slide down it at great speed. It will greatly improve your efficiency of your duplicants when moving down, not help them when they're moving up. In fact, they climb up it incredibly slowly. Research was complete on decontamination. We have another achievement. Royal Flush. We have completed our bathroom, and if we look at our rooms overlay, we can see that we now get a +2 morale bonus for having a completed bathroom. And we have a Bristle Blossom that has grown up because it is. Oh, you guys are gonna eat that, huh? So these two guys, little buggers, ate a bunch of my bristleberry when it fell. That's the downside to having giant bugs growing your bristleberry, especially when you only have a few. They eat a significant portion of it. Okay, let's see. They're putting our coal in the box. Metal's been put in the box. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little more base building. The food safety tutorial, I will just go to say, watch it if you want to watch it, but there's food poisoning. That's kind of the most important thing. If your duplicants don't wash their hands coming out of the bathroom, then they run to go get some food, then they spread food poisoning, then they eat the food, and then they get sick. And then they have a debuff for like 3 or 4 cycles because of the food poisoning. We do have another skill. I'm going to click on skills, go to Maya. Let's say Senna first. Senna gets super duper hard digging. Alright, Maya gets... What do we want Maya to get? Maya loves construction. And I like it when my construction person is also my mechatronics engineer because they can build the mechatronics stuff faster. We'll go ahead and buff for construction. Alrighty. Cycle 27. So we're a few minutes away here from wrapping this video up. Let's do that little wrap up by saying, hey, now that we have super duper hard digging, we can actually come over here and go check out this neutronium. Tells us that there's a geyser here. I look at the temperature map to see how it's a little colder. Neutronium, special, immeasurable. Important to note, there's going to be a geyser here. Now, I don't know if it's a volcano or a gas vent or a water vent, or I don't know what it is. But if I willy-nilly just dig it out, it's going to start erupting and letting out its goodies. And I don't want that to happen. So this square right here, I went in 1, 2, and up 1, 2. This square right here, this granite square that I don't want to dig out, is the bad one. As soon as I dig that one out, the volcano can do its thing. Well, the weatherless volcano. The vent can do its thing. The vent, geyser, volcano, whatever, can do its thing. So I am not going to dig that one out, but I want to dig in enough that I can see what it is. So I'm going to dig out these two, and I'm going to dig out the one down here. This looks like a water geyser. It is a polluted water vent. This is actually a really good geyser to get this early in the game. This thing is going to put out polluted water, so it will produce polluted oxygen, which is not good. but it will chug out, if you read the details over here, 7.9 kilograms per second of polluted water at 30 degrees Celsius. And it will do this for 266 out of every 456 seconds. And then it'll do that for so many cycles, and then it'll go dormant for so many cycles. And until we analyze it, we don't know how many cycles that is. But we're going to open that one pretty soon because it's remarkably good in that it's 30 degrees. That is an amazing temperature. I mean, it's a little warm, but you can just sieve this water through a water sieve and send it directly into producing oxygen and minimal cooling, and it'll keep your, it'll work. It'll work really, really well. Oxygen is life. All right, we have another geyser over here. We're gonna go down here. Remember, the duplicates can only jump up 2 tiles at a time, so we're just kind of stair-stepping down. And again, this one's the bad one. But I'm gonna treat it like these two are the bad two. And I'm pretty sure I can dig up this one, but this one, bad. So we're just gonna come in here and we're gonna peek, basically. We're gonna take out the 2 on the right and then the one at the bottom. Now, if I remember correctly, there's another geyser up here. One right here. But there's a bunch of badness between us and it, and I don't know if I want to go through all that chlorine. There's another one right here. Yeah, we're gonna go down here, get past all that, and we're gonna go. To see what that is. And that's going to take a little bit of while. And they're going to run out of oxygen. So that's going to be a slow go there. All right, what have we got over here? I don't remember what biome this is called. The sulfur biome? I don't know. Badlands, maybe? I don't remember. All right, over here we have a cool steam vent. All right, this is kind of what I expected the first one to be. Cool steam vent puts up 3.7 K, or 3,732 grams a second at 110 degrees Celsius. So it's letting out water as steam, which then requires a significant amount of active cooling in order to not cook your base. So we're going to leave that one alone for now. All right, what was the research complete? Oh yeah, the automatic dispenser. I'm going to bring an automatic dispenser up, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to click on it again because the the ghost of it just disappeared. I'm going to hit the letter O for orientation, and I'm going to put it right there. All right, so what this thing does is when you put something in it, whatever you put in it falls out. Basically, it dumps it out. You can hook up some automation so that it does it on demand, I guess you could say. But what I'm going to say is I'm going to say take everything, but only if I say sweep it. Otherwise, it's going to pick it up, put it in there, the chute's going to drop it out, and then it's going to be eligible to be picked up again. We don't want that. I don't want any refined metals in there. I don't want any metal ore in there. And I don't want liquefiables, which I don't have yet. That would be like ice in there. So what they're going to do then is they're going to put anything I tell them to sweep from now on. I'm going to put this in priority 6. Anytime I tell them to do a sweep job from now on, it's going to be a priority 6 container, so they're going to want to put something in it. I'll just sweep up everything that's here, basically. And you'll see, and they should bring it and drop it in this container before any other container. And since this container effectively never runs out of room, they're just going to sweep everything into that container. I wanted to make sure they weren't sweeping that spot, because they could, if there's a big stack of dirt, they could just keep sweeping it up and up and up and up and never pick up the whole package. And it would keep combining with the dirt, and then it would go on. We have a printing pod. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to take the Mimolette. Mimolets are food. This is from the Prehistoric Planet Pack. Not only are they food, but they are also kind of alive? Question mark? Let's go ahead and throw down a couple of planters there for millets. All right. Our water's almost done being pumped in. Another 42 kilograms. I'm actually going to, let's see here. Oh, that's fine. It's slowly getting pumped because of the way the plumbing is. It doesn't have priority. That's another thing I don't think I said about the pipe. If the destination end of the bridge is full, whatever's in the bridge will wait. So whatever's on the input side of the bridge will wait till the output side is clear. So basically, this bottom pipe or the destination pipe on the back side of the bridge has priority always. So if that pipe is full and there's water flowing through the pipe that is the destination of the bridge will effectively not pass anything through. Whereas if you had a T intersection of two plumbing segments like this, they would take turns. They would left, right, left, right, left, right. But in this scenario, the bridge will always prioritize jumping from the bridge, but always defer to what's already on the destination side of the bridge. Hope that makes sense. If it does not make sense, please tell me in the comments that I'm not making any sense. It happens sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and plant this Mimica Bud, which is what that Mimolette gives us. And eventually, we will see what it does. And for giggles, we have a blueprint to unlock. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that is. Upper left-hand corner, when the little blueprinting pod lights up, you get a free skin, basically. And I got a Cobalt Corner wallpaper, which I think I already have. Alright, so you see I sent this sweep job here, and they swept everything. So I'm going to do another sweep job here, and let them sweep everything. And they'll sweep it into this automatic dispenser. So what happens is right here, in this one square, everything. See that list of things goes off the table, or off the bottom of the screen. So everything I'm telling them to sweep is just stacking up. We call that an infinite storage. So instead of having little bits of sand and little bits of sandstone and little bits of clay and whatever everywhere, it's all in one spot. So there's fewer items for your simulation to have to keep track of. You know, they have a larger mass per se, but there's fewer individual items that the simulation needs to keep track of. That is the idea. Also, it lets you clean up stuff so that your base is a little better on the decor front. See how deep red this is up here, but down here, as they pick up more and more debris, it gets a little greener. So as soon as they're done with that one, they are almost. Almost. There's a lot of sand over there. Alright, and then we'll do the next one. Alright, a couple of things I wanted to touch on as we approach the bottom of cycle 29. We have 27.9 tons of algae. That is pretty good. We have enough algae for several more cycles. We have 4 duplicates. Our little oxygen diffuser is creating 500 grams a second of oxygen if it's producing at max capacity, which it's not, because you see it's cycling on and off. Let's see if I can pause it. Because of max gas pressure. And that happens. The square right above it gets all of what it produced, and it says, oh, now I'm over pressure, and then that disperses into the area surrounding, and then it's not under max pressure, and then it starts to produce again. My point being, though, if you look at the properties, you can see it's only running 67% this cycle. That's good, I guess, because it means I have so much oxygen that it doesn't need to run all the time. But it does use up 550 grams per second of algae. Let's see, 60 seconds in a cycle. So 30 kilograms. Is that right? 30 kilograms in a cycle? 300 kilograms in a cycle? 5,000 50 grams in 10 seconds. Okay, so 5 kilograms, 3 tons. It uses 3 tons of algae in a cycle. I think I did the math right. So I have like 10 more cycles of this before I absolutely positively either need to dig up some more algae or find a better solution for creating oxygen. But that is cycle 30. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Nothing went horribly wrong. We took care of some housekeeping, sweeping up the base. We got our bathrooms plumbed out. We now have the ability to make refined metal and to automate our power with a smart battery so that we're not wasting our coal by having the coal generator run constantly. Our duplicants no longer have to run the wheel, which frees them up to do other things. They no longer have to plunge the toilets, the outhouses. That frees up their time. They no longer need to deliver water to the sink or empty the sink of its dirty water. We got our polluted water processing over here. It's almost done. There's only 11 kilograms in each slot left now. And we're cleaning up the polluted oxygen that's in our base. We're doing pretty good, I think. Yeah, cycle 30. I mean, we're not speed running for sure, but yeah, we're okay. Our colony's not dying. That's what we're hoping for in the early game. So, the other thing, we've discovered a couple of geysers. We got super duper hard digging, which is required to dig out the obsidian, and the obsidian will always block you from getting into a geyser. So we have that 1, 2, 3 geysers, and I guess next episode we'll find out what's in this geyser, and maybe we'll even dare to get into this geyser over here. Even though to do that, we're gonna have to release a bunch of yuckiness, polluted oxygen and chlorine into the base, or maybe find a way to keep it from coming into the base. We'll figure that out next time. I also wanted to mention that we can see a couple of monuments that are just outside of our base area. Let's see here. At the bottom, we have this monument. I don't know what that one is. We have over here, we have a monument. You see how it's grayed out? Unknown. We have this little monument. We have this monument, which is the printer scepter. It's one of the story traits. This little monument, which is a neural vacillator that will give your duplicate a special skill. So we'll figure out who we want to volunteer to do that. And this little monument, which is just a cute little office. As we continue to expand, we will reach into some of those. Some of them are useful, some of them are decorative, some of them are just in the way. But until next time, this is Nom Nom signing out. Good to see y'all again.